As you may know, we have some elections coming up. Sometimes people say I shouldn't get involved in politics, which is a very strange thing to say because politics affects everything. If you want to change things and improve things, your vote is one of the most powerful tools you have. Politics is why farmland is disappearing and being mismanaged. Politics is why people are struggling to feed their children. Politics is why waters are being pumped full of sewage. Politics is why green spaces are disappearing. Politics is why the UK is one of the most nature depleted countries in the world. So yes, now and again, Get Wild does politics, just like everyone should. And whenever any councillors, politicians or candidates from any party want to talk to me, I am all ears. And I'm pleased to say I've got a couple of candidates that have asked to meet me up with me for a little chat. Right, I'm down at Pegwell Nature Reserve and I am with two candidates from the Green Party. Can you introduce yourselves?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Nick. I'm Mike Garner. I'm the Green Party candidate for Broadstairs Division. I've been a TDC councillor for the last 6 years and a town councillor for the last 6 years. And this year I've been proud to be the Mayor of Broadstairs and St Peters.
And I'm Becky Wing, so I have been a TDC and a Ramsgate Town Councillor for the last 6 years, alongside Mike and the other Greens. And I've got the honour to be selected to stand in the Ramsgate division. There's two Greens standing there, and I'm one of the two Greens standing in the Ramsgate division for the KCC elections, and I'm very proud to do that.
Brilliant. Can you give us a rough explanation of this election? So it's very much about local elections, isn't it? It's about the local people and what they can do locally.
Yeah. So this is about electing your representative on Kent County Council. So the people in Broadstairs will have a chance to choose somebody to represent them on Kent County Council issues at Kent County Council, and similarly in Ramsgate and the other divisions around Thanet.
Great.
That's what it's about.
What we're finding is people are a bit confused about what town, district and county council are responsible for. So very much your local town councils in Ramsgate and Broadstairs are sort of, they've got limited responsibilities, and then you go up to TDC, bins, recycling,
right.
Some of our open spaces, and then you get to Kent County Council, it's education, social care, highways, recycling centres, so infrastructure, some other big planning areas, and large bits of infrastructure, so minerals and
so it's very much about voting for the individual that you want in charge of your home, where you live. So every time I'm out on some event, very often you guys are there. You seem to have been around for a while and already done quite a lot for our community, which is brilliant. And you're very approachable, which I like. And I very much appreciate you contacting me to meet me here today to have a little talk about it. So obviously with my interests, with my environmental interests, I'm quite keen to know what your policies and what you're going to try and do to improve our open spaces.
Well, our policy is to, obviously, first and foremost, we need to protect our open spaces.
Yes, absolutely.
We need to make sure we've still got open spaces and there aren't any encroachment on open spaces. And then we need to enhance those open spaces, make sure they're protected for the future. And this is, I mean, there are many open spaces. We talk about Pegwell Bay, we know about the Minster Marshes. As you said, you see us out and about. We've been at the heart of the campaign, especially Becky, to save Minster Marshes.
Yeah, absolutely, because where we are now at Pegwell Bay, this area is going to have major disturbance from the sealing project, and it's going to have a big effect on, you know, people come here to make themselves feel better and enjoy the fresh air and have that right to green space. It's in our nature, and this area is very much under threat. So yeah, and you've been very involved with that, which has been absolutely brilliant.
I think when you move into an area that's only got 4% tree cover, then it's even more important that you do what you can to protect what you've got, and to use every little pocket of green space we have. And there's a lot of them. You know, even a little area the size of this table is capable of creating not only a habitat for nature, but also for local people's well-being. And don't even get us started on the loss of best and most versatile farmland, because it just shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, that brings it onto our farmland, actually. Good point. Yeah, I mean, it's a big topic, that, isn't it? We are losing a lot of farmland throughout the country, but it does feel particularly harsh in Thanet. we're losing a lot of farmland. So that's going to be an important part, I guess, if you become part of the planning process.
Yeah, I mean we are part of the planning process at Thanet District Council, and it's a very difficult position that we're in, because yes, Thanet has been shafted by previous governments. This land has been allocated to build all these houses on, that based on statistics and based on formulas that don't make any sense to anybody. And it is a very difficult fight to have to try and stop that. But the fight has to be fought. Even though it's very difficult to stop it, we've got to make sure that we get the best result out of some of these planning applications and we can. So that we save as much as we can. Everything is worth fighting over.
And
nothing's worth sitting
and
back.
You'll have a big say in that going forward, I guess.
I mean, some people see it's just a straightforward rejecting a planning application, but we very much see it about pushing planning applications back, because sometimes the evidence that the developers are producing, you've just got to look at the Golden Plover and the Birchington one. It was just, you know, I taught for 25 years, 26 years, and if some of my kids had presented that evidence concerning the Golden Plover, which is a red listed, highly protected bird, then I just would have said this doesn't make sense. It's not accurate. It shouldn't have been submitted, and that's what I feel. Everything is loaded in favour of the developers. The formula's loaded in favour of the developers.
Absolutely. And I mean, having that bird there wasn't just about protecting that bird. That bird is an indicator of important habitat.
Exactly.
So it's really right. So. One of the other things I'm keen to learn about is, the sewage spills that are happening very frequently, and it seems like sewage spills have got a lot worse as well in recent years. Are you going to be able to have sort of any involvement than that?
Well, we will have more of a say. I mean, you know, the Kent County Council can and should have more of a say over what our water company, Southern Water here.
And it's not just our major sewers; it's our road runoff as well.
So it becomes
part of
and
so
the
additional
highways,
houses we're building.
Highways is a responsibility of Kent County Council. So we need to be making sure that new roads and existing roads are built to a high specification, so
absolutely.
that runoff is minimum. There is going to be runoff, but it needs to be dealt with. It needs to be recognised and dealt with properly.
I mean, it's another issue because we're building all these houses and none of them have got grey water harvesting. And Southern Water have already admitted in a public meeting that we're one of the most water stressed areas in the country, if not the most water stressed.
And I know about grey water harvesting. I've installed it. It's brilliant and it can be done and it should be done. It's we're flushing our toilets with drinking water. It's just
ridiculous, isn't it? It is ridiculous.
And so when you see the cuts to the Environment Agency, I think there's 2/3 of their funding's gone, then it's even more loaded in front of in favour of the water companies. And by the way, I think there's only us and one other country that's got a fully privatised water company. Most other companies have some combination, or it remains in public hands. So the Green Party policy is quite clear. We believe we should be buying that essential service back. We believe we should be as self-sufficient as possible in water, food and energy, but that doesn't mean we just trash the environment in order to achieve those aims.
Could I just add something to that? Because I know I often get pushback from people saying, "Oh, we can't take it back into public ownership because it'll cost us so much." But most of these responses come based on evidence presented by the water companies themselves.
Right.
But what they're telling them how much it would cost.
I see.
As far Parliament would make a decision on how much it would cost. We've over the 35 years since privatisation, the water companies have paid themselves over 80 billion pounds.
Wow.
And they've got into over 74 billion pounds of debts.
Wow.
I suggest they've had enough money already.
Absolutely.
We need to take it back into public ownership and run it for what it should be.
I think when they were privatised, there was no debt in the water companies, and it was privatised because they felt that privatisation was a way to improve the infrastructure. But none of the infrastructure's been improved.
No, that's it.
So it's a failed.
Absolutely.
It's a failed thing we've done, and we need to recognise that we've failed
learn from our mistakes
and reverse it.
Absolutely, brilliant. Well, thanks so much for meeting me here today. I kind of feel like you guys are going to be a good thing if you get in, and of course I welcome any other candidates to talk to me as well. But I feel like you've particularly going to have a good handle on looking after our environment, cleaning up our streets, making the place a bit tidier, and helping do something to look after our all-important coastline as well, because that's an important part of Thanet. So yeah, that's great. Nice one. Well, thanks very much for talking to me today.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
And
Yeah,
we hope
cheers.
other candidates come and give their views
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely. Cheers. Thank you.
I'm sure we'll be in touch with you throughout the years on various campaigns
Yeah.
as we have been.
That's it. Absolutely. Cheers. Thank you.
All right.
Take care.
Cheers.